That's the craziest thing ever.
Yo, 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 what's good, gang? What's happening, people?
That's the craziest thing ever.
What is going on? Mad love from Miami, yeah? Happy days, man. We got Miami in the room. What's happening, gang? Got these nice chilled out beats given the current circumstances, ladies and gentlemen. The chaos that is about to commence in the charts. So what can we expect, ladies and gentlemen? Big boy movements are pending in the charts, ladies and gentlemen. You know, that's what it's all about. We need to understand. Very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, there could be 1,600 Bitcoin that's about to get filled at certain zones in the chart. Of course, there's going to be more getting filled, but there is a particular amount of Bitcoin getting filled in certain zones. And this is what we're going to be diving into today. So, for anybody new to the channel, mad love and respect for everyone passing through. All right? If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. You know how it is. Other than that, guys, let's have a conversation, guys. Let's roll out. So, what can we see? Right in front of us, guys, something is happening. Yeah? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the Bookmap. Why do we need to look at the Bookmap? Well, quite interestingly enough, guys, okay, we need to look at the Bookmap from last night in the stream, okay? Last night in the stream, Bitcoin was bouncing around this zone. There was not much happening. And as you can see, in this area right here, we had 109 Bitcoin at the 57,000 point in the chart. All right. Now, I've been saying that this move with Bitcoin is just not, I don't know, man. It's just not giving me the reason that it's may look to try and come back up. But we're going to look at the confluences to understand, are they going to send Bitcoin lower, and how low could they go, and justify with the amount of liquidity that is sat in those zones. Okay. So let's roll out the Bookmap itself. This is where we are with the Bookmap. You can see bright as day where the liquidity is at. We've got 55,000. All right. That has nearly 559 Bitcoin that is due to get filled. Even at the 56 zone, we've got 188. All right. As we go down, we can see 348 Bitcoin and 341. And then we've got some more at 50K. The idea is to establish, are we going to see these areas getting filled? Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, based on the Bookmap itself and the order book, we can see that there is an imbalance favoring lower prices. Why? Because when the Bookmap is showing an imbalance up here on the top right of 27% even, it means that it's favoring limit buys. So price by principle should be coming down. Now, I'm not seeing much liquidity being hit above the 57 zone. We've hit the 57 zone. So if we actually look at the chart itself, you can see bright as day that the 57 zone has been taken out right there. What did they do? They initiated the limit sales, hit the highs, built the shorts at the highest point, and then they smacked price all the way down. Rejection of the 50 EMA yet again. All right? They seem to be rejecting the 50 EMA quite frequently. But more importantly, guys, we need to understand this wick. Yesterday's low may be a promise. All right? But sometimes promises can get broken. What we are looking for, guys, is we're trying to establish, are they going to break down price and potentially form another third hit to the low? Because we've had the one hit down here, we've had the second hit here, which would be consistent with the W formation. However, price seems to be just breaking down. Are they going to attack that zone of liquidity? Look, you can see it bright as day. If I actually reduce the amount of bubbles right here, okay, you can see lots of volume is coming in. A lot more. Look, 55K. There is still that static amount of Bitcoin at 559 Bitcoin in that zone. All right. There is no reason as to why they can't come back down to that zone and take that liquidity. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game of trading. If you're looking for guarantees, then I can assure you that this is not the industry to be in. The reason why 95% of traders lose is because people come with an expectation and they solidify that expectation just because an indicator says buy or sell. Just because someone on YouTube says buy or sell. My goal is to try and get you to become more critical with trying to bring as many confluences as possible with the understanding of how price moves in a certain direction. Why is it they always come back to the wick? Why is it they always recover the green, the blue, and the red and violet vector candles? What's going on? And when you start breaking down the development of price, remember, they have to develop the move. They can't just move into a zone. They have to develop it. If they were to just simply throw off the market and just move in one direction, no one would commit. No one would believe price would go up. No one would believe it would go down. They'd just be sitting on the lines. All right? This wick right here is the next zone that Bitcoin may take out. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this game is, especially this system, it's all about day trading. All right? I'm not interested if Bitcoin's going to go to 100K. I'm not interested if it's going to go all the way down to 41K. It's too far away in relation to the time frame that I'm trading. As you can see right now, it's starting to move. Let's look at the Bookmap. Are they actually filling those orders? 55 nearby. 55K could get taken out, ladies and gentlemen. We've got orders at the 56 zone, which is 171 Bitcoin. Okay, so they could actually realize that return. Let's bring it down. Here we go. 56K. All right, you can see it's looking to try and take that zone. The 55K zone has just increased in the amount of orders. It went from 559 to 607. All right, so liquidity is coming into the limit. This is, remember, this is the limit orders in the chart. Okay, so keep an eye out for this. Okay, do not get caught out. There is a lot of speculation that, you know, Bitcoin is due to make a massive move to the upside. Fine. Right now, it isn't doing that. Right now, it's pulling away from the 50 EMA with the stop hunt that was initiated at the start of the UK session. Now we're going into the US session itself. In 10 minutes time, we should be seeing the start of a new 1 hour candle, all right, which may induce the momentum to the downside. If this candle turns red, then there's a good chance that we are going to see yesterday's low, all right? Unfortunately, we do actually have the range daily low in sight. Now, if price tends to trade towards these points, it's usually going to see those zones. And if they do see that zone, it will be the third hit to the downside. All right? There is a bag of liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. There is no reason why they won't take it, because they're not giving us a reason to believe that they will. Sorry, there's no reason that they're not giving us a reason to believe that they could go back up. Remember, the market maker goes long at the lowest point. So we're trying to work out, is this one of the lowest points in the chart? Will they be finalized with price coming down to this point? What point will it stop? And that's what everybody's waiting for. All right? If we do get the third hit to the downside, it may take out this wick, and then we will have to reevaluate the situation. But if they do release the liquidity in this zone, we may get some very interesting behavior. Given that tomorrow is Thanksgiving and the market will be down a pool of liquidity. When I say pool of liquidity, it means there will be no trading happening in the US. And I know cryptocurrency trades 24/7, but I'm talking about institutional traders, ladies and gentlemen. All right? The traders that go into the 9 to 5 job, and then they trade 9 to 5, and then they put the orders in for the hedge funds, institutional money managers, you name it. They're all having the day off tomorrow. What they do with their private accounts is a different story. All right? So this is the breakdown of what we may expect with Bitcoin. The fact is, Bitcoin hasn't moved. It's moved aggressively at the start of the Hong Kong session over here, coming into the close of the Hong Kong session, sorry. And then the US session the UK session initiated a stop hunt rise, and then they pulled price back down. So let's see what happens in this hour to determine if they are going to break down and test yesterday's low, where they initially got themselves a lot of interest, which sits at the 55k zone, where 609 Bitcoin is due to be filled. Now, if they don't fill this zone, or they don't break down price, given that volume is coming in, favoring more limit buys, that's where the imbalance is, then they will have to do a very drastic turn. And even then, with the drastic turn in price, because if we dive into the actual development of this candlestick right here, guys, look at this. If you drop onto the smaller time frames, you can see we've already had a stop hunt. We've had a stop hunt at the 50 EMA. Rejection, drop back down. Commit the retail trader to go long, and then they pull it straight back. Okay, I will look at ADA. I will look at ADA. No worries, Rex. Mad love and respect for passing through and saying that, bro. Thank you very much, my friend. All right. As it stands right now, they're trying to hold this range. They're trying to do something. They're trying to trap traders. Initiate the trap, set the shorts, bring price back up, and then make the continuation to the downside. We're nearing the 56k zone. Whole number. All right. It's really important that you get that. Look at them recovering this wick right here. Now we got this big boy wick right here that they may want to realize. All right. Price has deviated away from the 50 EMA. You've got 1, 2, 3 potential pushes by the market maker. All right. Drop down the time frame, rolling onto the 7-minute time frame. What are we seeing? We're trying to understand if this drop down right now in price is showing conviction by the market makers, or are they setting up the traps? Violet candlestick. Does that mean that volume is starting to rise, or is it starting to slow down? If we roll up the chart itself and we can see the volume, we can see what's going on. Volume is starting to rise at key points. 50 EMA rejection right here. Yeah, this is where the stop hunt ended up. But the fact is, the violet candle and the blue vector candle right here are coming in with evenly matched volume. So once this candlestick closes in 2 minutes time, if it doesn't close as a blue vector, then that would imply that they are getting ready to go even lower. If they're stopping in this zone, it's because they're trying to take back the liquidity from the shorts who went to the downside, make their liquidations, pay the price. Market maker builds his longs at the highest point in this range, and then he drops price down again. Sorry, builds his shorts at the highest point and then brings it back down again. It's all down to what happens at this point. We drop down another time frame, 5-minute. What's been happening? 5-minute time frame, red vector candle, full recovery, and back down again. So what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're profiling the development of the move. And then we've got the 1-minute time frame. Rejection away from the 50 EMA, reverted back, bags of volume in this area right here. The blue vector candle looking like it wants to get realized. Last week's low in sight, another pool of liquidity, yesterday's low. The confluences are all coming together to see price come down. Look, 56k is nearly getting filled, ladies and gentlemen. Whole number 56, the order book. You can see a little bit of arbitrage even. So 56.40, 5600 right there. Okay. Are they going to realize the move down? Are they going to absorb 175 Bitcoin at the 56 zone? Keep an eye out on this. It says 172, so it's slowly getting picked. 168. More orders coming in. All right? When you start profiling the way liquidity is appearing in the chart, see more orders coming in. They want the 56. Are we going to see the break? If we do release at the 56, then we may come down towards last week's low. Let's see if they actually break that zone. 1 more minute until the start of a new 1 hour candle, guys. 2 p.m. New York. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's going on. Whilst that is happening, who's in the room today? We've got 800 of you and only 135 of you like the stream. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, man. I like you guys. I can't like my own stream, unfortunately. I can only press it once. At least you guys get to press it once. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Let's pump the algo. Oh, my days. We'll have a look at some altcoins very shortly, guys. It's just we need to pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing because it's at a very important point in the chart. Here we go. 45 more seconds until the start of 2 p.m., guys. New 1 hour candle. Are we going to get that momentous push to the 56? If they release the 56, you're going to start seeing some interesting behavior in the Bookmap, guys. Bookmap is favoring limit buys to the downside. Let's see if they actually do break to make their way towards last week's low. Let's have a look. Mad love and respect to all of you, man. Here we go. 56 is still holding. They're still adding 171 Bitcoin. Again, they keep adding to that point. They keep adding to that zone. Let's get that 56. Come on. Here we go. 3. It's been hit on the Bookmap. 56K's been hit on the Bookmap. Are we going to see it on actual Binance on the trading view itself? Here we go. Here we go. 2 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. And are they going to make the break? Are they going to release? 56. Bang. There it is. Ah, look at that. Tap. Stop hunt. Drop down. Come back up. Pull the orders. Now look. All those orders got filled at the 56. Now let's see if they're going to try and get them in again. To try and commit them to putting more money into the charts. Let's see what happens. Whilst Bitcoin is doing that, ladies and gentlemen, someone's been going on about the Bitcoin down chart. So let's have a look at that. Here's the Bitcoin down chart. Right, here we go. Okay then, that's interesting. Here we go. Look at that. Big dump right there. Bitcoin coming back up. But don't be fooled by it. Where's the liquidity? Right there. Nothing much is happening here. Here we go. It's coming down. They may test this zone. So principle would say that if the liquidity comes down towards this zone right here, then we should see interest coming in back into the Bitcoin down chart. Okay, so now Bitcoin's going back up. Very interesting. Are they going to tap the 50 EMA and pull back down? Stop hunt rise. Wicked out the zone. Come back and recover the vector. Here we go. A lot of liquidity coming in the Bitcoin down. Very interesting price action on that chart. Going to pay more attention to that. Quite low liquidity, which is why you're seeing a few delays in there. Let me just reduce down the actual bubbles so we can see price action. Here we go. So in this area here, 0.0925 seems to be a very interesting point in that chart. All right. Okay then. Right. Let's have a look at some altcoins whilst Bitcoin is holding its range, trying to do its thing. Let's bring that over here. So, first things first, before we actually do look at some altcoins, let's have a look at the Glassnode. It's starting to work now. All right. Where are traders at right now? So let's have a look at the dashboard. Here we go. This is the unrealized profit and losses in the chart. All right. Traders are still in denial. If we zoom in, you can see traders are still in denial, but not yet hit that range of anxiety just yet. Bitcoin hasn't gone low enough for them to actually start to get concerned. All right. The temperature itself, Bitcoin trading temperature, the price temperature, sorry. Bring that up there. It is currently now still. Okay, so it's near enough at the median of this range. All right. So we're at a turning point. How low will Bitcoin go before it actually turns back up? Are they going to turn at the 55? Are we going to see a very fast move to the downside before it actually makes the move up? This is what we're waiting for. In relation to the pattern itself, ladies and gentlemen, on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, we may need to see another push down, recovery of this previous wick, okay, which will be the third hit to the downside, and then we will know if they are going to come back up. That would then formulate a very interesting inverted head and shoulders. However, if we look at the higher time frames, guys, we need to understand something. On the daily, Bitcoin has now completely rejected that 50 EMA. So will the pattern in this area right here, will it be violated? Will it actually hold? Because it can go as low as 55,000 and bounce back up, and it will still be within the peak formation. We can accept that. But what if they actually make the release to go down lower, to start tapping into the 53, the 52 and the 51 zone? That will take us over into the Bookmap, expand the Bookmap itself, zoom out, bring the charts in, and look at what liquidity is being stacked in those zones. So give it a second. Here we go. So there we are. So we have 50K. There is 355 Bitcoin in that area. 52, 345. Then it splits up to between 53 and 54. What do we always say about the whole and a half numbers, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah? The whole and half numbers are important because that's where orders get filled. They are impressionable numbers in the chart. There ain't nothing happening up here. So why are we talking about Bitcoin 100K? There's nothing even at the 60 zone. All these little blue areas here are just your standard retail traders putting in small orders. If I get rid of them, it puts things into perspective, doesn't it? It makes you realize that actually where is the interest? Because it's all happening in this zone right here. When you start seeing price getting filled with limit orders in these zones right here, and it's nowhere near it, then you can see that there may be an adjustment in the direction of price. But it looks like the limit buys are winning. The market is skewed towards the downside. What point will they decide to turn? If we go even deeper, look, there's nothing happening at the 40, 39, 38. All right. As it stands right now, all the liquidity is contained between the 57, all right, and the 50. There we have the 70. And that has been a static order non-stop. It hasn't moved, and it stayed at 695 for the best part of about a week. It's been jumping up and down between 650, 680, and what have you. Now it's gone to 695. All right. So 695 Bitcoin at 70K. Well, we're at 56 right now, guys. So could that imply that at some point Bitcoin will hit the 70K? Just because there's orders there doesn't mean it's going to get filled. That's not the guarantee. And that's not what the Bookmap does. All right. Look, you can see there's more orders now coming in at the 55, 611, 109 at 56. Remember, they spike the lows, hit the price, move up, get the commitment, and then they pull it back down again. All right. Pays to just be aware of liquidity, guys, because that's the only way price is going to move if there's liquidity about. It's not going to move because it says so on the Fibonacci's or any Toblerone patterns or pennants or bull flags. It doesn't make sense. It will move if the liquidity is there in the chart. Because what creates a candlestick? The relationship between those who are buying and those who are selling. We understand that when price is dropping, the market maker is preparing to go long. How long is he going to decide before he says, right, I'm ready to now reverse price. So I've committed enough shorts to the downside. I've built my longs to the lowest point possible. I'm getting ready to now reverse price. At what point in the chart do we ask ourselves, is that point? Well, we've got this next pool of liquidity right here, which sits at the range weekly low. That could be a point that they decide to drop it down. It's consistent with the amount of liquidity that's coming into the charts, especially in the Bookmap. That's where the liquidity is at, ladies and gentlemen. All right, then. 56,200 right there. Let's have a look at some altcoins for my guys who roll out with the altcoins. Here we go. Right, people have been banging on about ADA. So let's roll out with ADA and have a look at what's going on there. Cardano. Okay, ouch. Nice little bleed to the downside. Hit the range daily low. We could expect it to turn from this point. Let me bring up the Bookmap for ADA. And ADA across the board. Let's have a look at ADA across 5 exchanges. Yeah, ADA across 5 exchanges. Let's wait for that to load up. Give it a second. All right, then. Here we go. A sec to load. All right then. Bring it down. Okay then. 2,062,938 ADA at $1.59. All right. Oh, even more at 155. Wow, 150. Look at that. Look at that. That's where the liquidity is at. Now, before it comes down to this point in the chart, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is actually ADA on 3 platforms. So Binance, GDAX, and Kraken. All right. So if we go to the chart itself and have a look at that zone, 150 sits with a lot of vector candles in that zone. And that's on the 1 hour time frame. Just give it a sec. Just need to fix that. Here we go. Drop onto the higher time frame. Let me go to the 15-hour time frame. Here we go. Big, strong vector candle, which finishes in 49 minutes. Coming down towards the 800 EMA. There is a pool of liquidity right there that they may even try and take with ADA. At the start of a new 15-hour candle in 49 minutes, all right, we may see a little bit of a recovery because we have achieved the lowest point of the range for ADA today. All right, they've made a fast move to the downside. Okay, so you just got to be mindful of that. It has pulled away from the 50 EMA and it's now looking to recover all of this zone right here on the basis that in the next 49 minutes that the candle that is created after this candle closes, when the new 15-hour candle rolls in, we may see a little bit of a retrace back up, try and recover at least 50% of this vector candle because it's a move out of the zone, and then we could see price continue down lower to tap the 800 EMA. How many times have we said about the 800 EMA being a very key nominal point in the charts? It's a very big point in the charts, ladies and gentlemen, on any coin. All right, so just be mindful of that with ADA. It's pulling back, it's dropping down. You can see the stop punt rises, setting up the shorts, setting up the longs, and hitting their liquidation points to the downside. Okay. Solana breaking down. Now, if we do get Solana hit, because right now it's coming in towards the 800 EMA. So now it's pulling away from the 800. If it pulls away, it'll be consistent with setting up a W formation in and around this zone right here. So there's a lot of liquidity for them to take today, ladies and gentlemen, if they do decide to make that move in the New York session completely. Right, we're 10 minutes in. We're waiting for the futures market to open in 20 minutes. All right? So we just need to be mindful of that. Solana breaking down. Let's have a look at which altcoins are actually doing well today. Sand, bang, $6. Happy days. Look at that. Wonderful. We've been talking about Sand, rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. We spoke about it in the video yesterday. All right? We spoke about Sand in the Altcoin Bosses video yesterday, and they've done exactly what we wanted them to do. Mana, $5. We called it, and it's hit it. Happy days. Go and watch that video. It's in the channel for you guys. Gala coming back up now. Okay, now check this out. Gala's consolidating, and it has a good way of doing this. Look at this. The last time it consolidated at the 50 EMA, it went on to make a mad move to the upside. The same thing may be happening right now. All right? Just look at the accumulation. They are building in this zone. The 50 EMA is flat on the 1 hour time frame. That is bizarre. So we're expecting volatility to come into this coin. All right? Some would see it as an M formation, but this coin is just going and going and it's not stopping. They would have made an attempt to the downside several times beforehand, but they're not actually breaking down just yet. They're trying to contain the zone. We could expect Gala to come up to at least 60 cents if it does break away from this zone. So keep that in mind. Crow. We said Crow was going to take the $1 mark in yesterday's video, and look at where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we seem to be understanding that these coins are going to keep moving higher and higher? Okay, because whilst Bitcoin is jumping around, trying to set itself a direction of where it's going to go, all right, altcoins are taking the precedence. Altcoins ain't got time to wait for Bitcoin, all right? Coupled with the fact that there is a lot of media exposure with Crow right now, this coin is just doing wonderfully. Mad love and respect to my Crow holders. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Alice, $24. She's fulfilled the pattern to the upside. Happy days. Moving out. We could see a little bit of a retrace. Okay, so be careful of that. I do need to actually look at Algo for a split second. Where's Algo? Algo. Here we go. We've got this wick up here. Algo's pulling back, making one last attempt towards the liquidity zone right here. It's showing a good support. I'm expecting them to take back this wick right here. Massive imbalance in the chart. If I pull up the Bookmap itself and try and work out where Algo is, so let me just unsubscribe from that. Let's pull up Algo. No, it's not in the Bookmap data. Let's go Binance Futures and look at Algo. We should see where the liquidity is currently at with Algo. And I'm going to show you something. What are your thoughts on trading this period of time? Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to understand we're going to be down a pool of liquidity tomorrow. All right? Here we are with Algo, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to try and find all the pools of liquidity in Algo. All right. Massive amounts towards the 165. All right? Nothing else after that. So they're containing the zone. And that's consistent with the actual chart itself. Here we go. 165, where the previous pool of liquidity is from the big vector candle that initiated the move to the upside. Principle would say that is the zone that they decide to turn. That's what the principle would say. All right, because they would trigger orders in that zone. What happens whenever price hits a previous pool of liquidity? They release liquidity from that zone and they tend to go in the opposite direction. All right. Bitcoin, where we at? Slowly but surely trying to hold this range. Don't like it. Here we go, starting to pull back down. 10-minute time frame. What we got? There you go, the recovery right there. Try and recover a little bit of that wick. There's already moved down once, trying to hold that range. 5-minute time frame. Consolidating sideways, not really doing much. Deviation away from the 50 EMA. 1-minute time frame. Still below. Stop hunt rise, fake move, comes back down. Stopping volume candle right here. Another attempt at the 50 before it pulls back down. Ethereum. Nice bleed to the downside with Ethereum. Let me look at the Bookmap of Ethereum itself. Now, this is Ethereum on 5 platforms. So get rid of Algo right there. And here we go. Where are the pools of liquidity for Ethereum? Boom. Big sell-off right there with Ethereum. They just filled 274 Ethereum in that zone. All right, the 4,100 zone seems to be a very important part in the chart. 3,900, 2,977 Ethereum and 2,553 Ethereum in that zone. That is, in total, roughly about 5,500 Ethereum is going to get absorbed if it comes down towards that point. Not much happening in this zone, and again, 5,000. Isn't it particular how Bitcoin has lots of orders at 70k and Ethereum has nearly 7,500, just over 7,500 Ethereum at the 5k. It's always at the highest points. Yeah, this is where the limit sales are, which when you ask yourself, why is it that price always turns at the all-time highs? Because that's where people are mostly selling off from. That's where the market maker builds his longs, builds his shorts on the way up, and then he sells at the highest point that retail traders are stepping in and buying from. It's a sad truth, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah? Let's have a look at XRP. Pulling down, man. God, they're doing a good job of it, aren't they? Let me pull up XRP for Binance. There we go. XRP. Yesterday's low has already been hit, yet Bitcoin's hasn't been taken just yet. Here we go, 56k. Bitcoin's pulling back. Let me just get XRP one more time. Pretty much following the same behavior as Bitcoin. Looking at on the 1 hour time frame. Look, working the wicks. There is that last bit right there that they may try and take, ladies and gentlemen. All right, they may try and take that point. Bitcoin breaking down. Here we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the price action on here. Last week's low could be in sight, ladies and gentlemen. Drop down to the 7-minute time frame, rolling onto the 5. Let me see the 5-minute. breaking through that zone. Pull up the Bookmap. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's break it and get closer towards the liquidity and witness the liquidity trying to come in. All right then, so let's pay attention. This is Bitcoin. Let's see what they have in store for us, ladies and gentlemen. Is Bitcoin going to come down towards these zones? Let's see them try and fill these zones. 160 Bitcoin at 55,500. Again, whole numbers and half numbers. That's what we're looking for. And the cool thing is this. The stalling of price, up and down, wicking the highs, pulling it down, is the market maker just working ranges, all right? People are in denial. As I said to you, they don't think it can go any lower, so they just keep adding and adding and adding. And the thing is it's going to drop down to a certain point where they have exhausted the intention by the retail trader to stop buying Bitcoin lower and change direction to go short. And that is the direction that is the point in the time. Sorry, that's the point in the chart where they will initiate the fast false move and then reverse price. This is what we're waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I just want to try and catch this move with Bitcoin. I want to see the momentum step in because I want you guys to witness the actual orders being filled in the Bookmap itself. All right. You can download this free of charge, ladies and gentlemen. You can get paid versions, but just literally Google Bookmap. There we go. There's the break. Pool of liquidity. You're going to start seeing them try and fill at the 55,700. And if you pay close attention as well, you'll start to see these getting darker as the interest is starting to come in to potentially try and take some of this liquidity at the 612 to get filled sooner, okay, at a higher price. That's usually the principle that I've noticed with this Bookmap, all right? As much as this is a static order in the chart, we usually see sometimes they take some of it off and move it higher just to encourage people to step in, and then they bring it back into that zone. So pay attention to that 612 zone and the 55k zone. Here we go. Bitcoin going to bleed out towards the last week's low and potentially yesterday's low in sight. Let's see if they've got that grit to move price down lower. That's a website. Jefferson, that's just a website, okay? Just go, it's a live web feed. All right, because you can use the Bookmap as a web-based platform, but it's a little bit delayed. I'll show you right now how you can take advantage of it. Let me bring that up for you. Yeah, it's a crazy-ass link, but that's the only way we can actually look at it for free. So there you go. Just click that. And it's for Bookmap itself. It's the web version. It's free of charge. You can access it. Just wait for that all to just populate. This is the monthly time frame of Bitcoin in terms of the liquidity that's been sat in the charts, okay? And as you can see right now, we are at the lows right here at the 56 point on the month, okay? You can drop it down towards, let me zoom out. There it is right there. Wow, there you go. Look at all that liquidity at the 53, 52k zone. All right, you can change it to the day. Where are we at in the day chart? So just zoom out. And you can see right there, ladies and gentlemen, it's the 50 zone. A little bit at 49,600, but more in the 52,800, 54,400 zone. All right. And this is the free version. So the link is in the video, in the description of the video. So go check it out and you can play around with this. All right. Bitcoin breaking down. Bookmap. What's it doing? Here we go. Watch what happens with this zone right here, guys. They've tried to take that liquidity pool right there. If they release that liquidity, then we could see last week's low. Because that at last week's low will be the low of this wick over here. Towards the... Sorry, yesterday's low will be the low of that wick. When they initiated the stop hunt to the downside. That will fill the imbalance in the chart, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what they do. There you go. There's the release. Get ready. Look at this. Pay attention to this. Look at that liquidity coming in right there. Now, these bubbles here include the delta of sellers and buyers. All right? Now, we understand when price actually shows a negative delta, it could be the market maker initiating a buy at the lowest point. Now what you can see, they've stopped hunt the low and pulled back all those limit buys, moved limit buys back up to only pull it back down again. Because look, you can see liquidity is not actually coming in. Look, it's disappearing. So this could be a stop hunt. So just be mindful. Here we go, green vector. Unless some news has just come out which is causing this mad move up. Testing the VWAP. Stop hunt rise. Ah, look at that, man. Look at what they just did right there. That is so that's so messed up. So messed up that is, ladies and gentlemen. You're witnessing the market makers movement. Look what happens when they hit a previous pool of liquidity. They pull back. Okay? Because they've just released the liquidity from that zone. They pulled price all the way back up. Now they're going to be pulling it back down again. We've been seeing this behavior in the chart continuously. Look. Stop hunt rise, drop. Stop hunt rise, drop. Is that the same story right here with Bitcoin? A lot of people would have realized a position in longs right now because people are going long. And now look what's happening. Their liquidations are being tested out. They're getting hit. Shorts have been liquidated. Longs are being liquidated. It's crazy. And it's all about understanding the flow of liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's about. Literally. This is literally what it is, right? This is, when I came across Bookmap itself, like, you know, I was startled by it, man, because it's giving you where the liquidity's at. We can only know the liquidity based on it being present in the vector candles, based on how often price changes. We don't know fully how much volume is being sat in this zone. We can look at these bars down here, fair and square, all right? But when you look at the Bookmap, it's a different ball game. America Marzili, thank you very much, man. No problem. Hemp, I would beg to differ, my friend. New traders don't stand a chance because they base their information solely off the wrong points. Retail trader goes long when price is rising. He goes long where at the all-time high. Well, we know not to do that. You don't go long at the all-time high. You go short from the all-time high. Why? Because the retail trader that's going long, the market maker's going short. You have a choice. Do you follow the retail trader or do you follow the market maker? In order to buy, someone has to sell. And in order to sell, someone has to buy. And that is the nature of this marketplace. If we do see this stop hunt as being valid, guys, we should see the green vector getting recovered. They did exactly the same here. May even just stabilize for a little bit and then try and come back down, do this sort of behavior, and then try and move down. But then even if they come down to this point, what if they then decide to turn again? You see, what we need them to do is we need them to just break down to test last week's low. Because that is where notable interest comes in. That is where the liquidity is at in the chart. Always, always. Yeah, you can choose. You can choose the Bookmap. Oh man, I'm going to do a video on Bookmap, ladies and gentlemen, just to help you guys out. I'll do a video on the settings and whatnot. Here we go. There's that recovery. Are they going to now release that liquidity? Because look, nothing's coming in. Principal would say that at that point right there, that is where we will trigger limit buys. Looking at the order book itself, there is an imbalance favoring lower prices. And it comes up at the point where they want to start moving price down lower. All right. 613 Bitcoin at 55. There is no reason as to why they won't take that. There is no reason. How many of you in the room? 1,200 of you are in the room. Mad love and respect to all of you people. Let's pump the algorithm whilst Bitcoin is getting pumped. Be sure to like the stream and show mad love. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, guys, and you want access to all these indicators, they are free of charge. Just go to the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. You get access to the website and click the tab where it says start here. It will give you access to the Discord. It's going to give you access to all sorts of stuff. They are all free of charge. I've got to add the indicator down here, which has the volumes in as well. So I'll be getting that posted on the website as well, ladies and gentlemen. It should be there, but people are saying it's locked off. So I think it may be open right now. Stephen Anthony, how you doing? Does the market maker show bias towards a particular time frame? Could it be shown by gravitation to a certain length moving average? There is no basis or one fixed time frame that the market maker works from, because moves develop. They develop from the smaller time frame to the higher time frames, and it's all because it's the overall goal, which is the higher cycle. That's what the goal is, and they have to develop that cycle, and it starts from the 1 minute time frame all the way through to the daily time frame. Even the weekly and the monthly. All right? Because when you're watching the monthly time frame, how can you make sense of what's going on inside of that candle? How do you know that that monthly candlestick, okay, and it's pushed to the downside, how much of it is showing the market maker going long at lower prices? Yeah? At what point did it become a negative candlestick? Was it on the basis that they were building shorts at the highest point of that candlestick? Do you understand? So when you're looking at the lower time frames, that's why when I'm looking at the time frames and the movement of Bitcoin, all right, I always actually look to see what is actually happening on the lower time frames, because it's the move that develops. You can see how they're wicking out the range right here. That's on the 5-minute time frame. If I go onto the 1 hour time frame, I don't really see that wicked out behavior. I just see the wick up here and down. I can't really gauge that much off it. If I go onto the 4 hour time frame, I don't see much of that. All I can see is them pulling price down lower. I need to understand what's making this candle push down lower. So I drop down to lower time frames. What can I see? We just had a stop hunt rise, rejection of the 50 EMA. Patreons, what did we speak about this morning in the masterclass? The failure of the vector candle, okay? Fails to break above the 50 EMA. Shows weak confirmation. Next candle, stop hunt rise, drops back down again. Yeah? Classic example right in front of you. So let's see what happens, guys. What time are we on? 1:30. 30-minute candle coming into play. New 15-minute candle. So let's see what happens. Bring up the 15-minute time frame. What's the result of that? Are they going to come back up and recover this wick, or are they going to break down completely? Here we go. The Bookmap slowly. No orders coming in. See those orders down there have just come in at the 55,500 zone. All right, so they may get some interest at that point. Could they lead price into that direction because they've just rejected the 13 EMA? What my goal is in these streams, guys, is to talk into speculation. This is why I talk the way I talk, because I'm dealing in real time. I ain't talking about hindsight. All right? I may make reference to what they've done before to help us understand what they're likely to do next. But if you see in the chart itself, they seem to be doing these stop hunts and drop. Stop hunt and drop. And we're seeing that same behavior right here. Okay? So at what point will they decide to actually break down? Look, they've shown the resistance at this area right here. And there was a lot of sell orders at this point that have been absorbed. 2,384 orders absorbed. Okay? So there's a lot of selling pressure right here. All right? Market maker favors lower prices. Yeah, man. It's all good. Don't worry. If you can't get to 1,000 likes, it ain't a problem. My goal is to make sure that you guys understand this. Yeah? I've not received the notification. I don't know why they're not getting the notifications to YouTube, man. Tell you what, George, listen, the hybrid system, I'm not going to say it's the goal, it's the crystal ball. Because you can have a system which guarantees a win of 100% and two traders use it. One wins 100% of the time, but the other trader loses 100% of the time. How can you lose on a system that is guaranteeing you a 100% win rate? It's the mindset. There are many people that have a different approach to using this system, all right? And it's all down to understanding what the candlesticks are doing. Okay? That's what it's all about. Here we go. Look at that. Pulling down. Now look at the Bookmap. Look at the Bookmap. Something's kicking off right now. A little bit of an absorption right there. Pay attention to that zone. We're diving into the Bookmap itself. Bookmap showing imbalance of 30%. So we could see price coming down. They're going to recover this previous pool of liquidity right here, which will trigger these orders down here. But the sentiment of these orders coming in at this point right here, is it enough for them to move price back up? Or is there just too much pressure and they're getting ready to load out on this thing? See, look, 566 Bitcoin at 55K. Earlier it was 615. So they've taken some of that liquidity and moved it up ever so slightly. That's what I'm understanding on the Bookmap. That's the principle. We don't know fully where it goes, but if you've been watching this for quite some time, they always come back to that 615 mark and back. Add and come back and forth. That's what we're seeing. All right? So let's see if they actually do this. Forgive me if I'm not looking at any other altcoins, ladies and gentlemen, but it's really important that you understand the flow of liquidity in this game. All right? Some of you may use Bookmap, some of you may not. You can get the free version of it, fine. Okay? But ultimately, you're understanding the development of candlesticks, because that's what's going to make price move from one direction to the next. What reasons do we have to believe price is looking to try and come down, other than the fact that the Bookmap was present with the orders at the 55K zone? Well, we know that the vector candle of 55K sits flush right there in between two vector zones. Yesterday's low is there. There are confluences that are showing that price ideally should be coming down. You've got the previous wick right here. So is Bitcoin going to break down? That's the question. Based on what we understand here, it looks like it is. So let's see if they do actually break the zone. Probably, James. Probably. That's what it could be as well. How many people are new to the channel right now? So I understand my audience, because I may be talking and some people are like, yo, what is this guy chatting? You know? Thoughts on Gala? I spoke about Gala very shortly, a moment. No predictions, just projections, my friend. Very short but small profits. It does basically what the market makers do. Building longs when market drops, building shorts when it rises. Alberto, there you go. You're following the pattern of the way the market maker buys and sells. Remember, you can only buy when someone sells. Okay? You can only buy when someone sells, and you can only sell when someone buys. That's the truth of this marketplace. Anyone that tells you otherwise are still using indicators or technical analysis to tell them where price is going to go next. How long is that sustainable for? There has to be an element of psychology, because there is a reason why someone comes to the chart. Okay? There is a reason why people commit their money. I ain't smoking kush, bro. People are in denial. Again, an example. People are in denial about price action. They are in denial about price action. Pattern watchers will beg to differ. You know? Thank you very much for all the new people passing through. Okay? Thank you very much. New subscribers, mad love and respect to all of you passing through. Again, if you are new and you want access to all these indicators, they are free of charge. Just hit up the website. It's pinned to the chat at the top here. Go through to the Start Here tab. You'll get access to the Discord. I've put all the indicators in that area, so just keep an eye out on that zone, because that's where I'm going to be populating anything that is added for this channel. All right? Big up Cali, yeah? Okay then. Okay then. What's this? Patterns all there. No problem, Wayne. How you doing, my friend? I only vape. That's what I do. Okay, here we go. Stop hunt again. Bitcoin. Let's have a look at some altcoins whilst Bitcoin's just playing around in this range. Let me get the altcoin bosses. I'm going to be doing a video very shortly on the altcoins. That's why I don't really want to dive into them too much. All right. Let's actually have a look at the altcoins pulling back. All right. So AMP did that big move. Okay. Now it's recovering it. Are we going to see the test at that point? Another coin. Shiba's actually dropping down. Chromium. Chromium's dropping down. Completely recovering that zone. Range weekly low in sight. Couple of pools of liquidity there for Chromium. Cardano. Testing. Pulling back. It's on the 50-minute time frame. Need to look at the 1 hour. VET. Let's have a look at VET. 12 cents. Ah, it's taking a bleed, man. Bleed. Look, stop hunt rise and calming down. The whole cycle. You've got yourselves a whole weekly cycle right there. Up and then down. Next pools of liquidity could be triggered in the chart. All right. OMG. $8. Oh, man. Look at that. Calming down, man. It's the turning point right there. Look, complete deviation away from the moving averages. Something is brewing. Something's going to turn with these. Pay attention to the coins that are pulling back, because they're coming back from highs. All right, you want to pay attention to them. Philcoin, forming the base again. Ava. Okay, fair pullback. Moving averages are stacked together. So we want to be careful of that. Could see the rise, retrace, continuation, but there's no liquidity in this zone right here. So they may see a turning point in this chart. Bitcoin might be taking everything down. Who knows? Metaverse coins. Let's have a look at those. Sand, again, still killing it. Holding, it's just bounced off the 13 EMA. All right. Bouncing off the 13 EMA. Continuation to the upside could be inevitable. $10 for Sand. No problem. That's what I expect. If they do hold. Remember, they can hold the 13 EMA, make another attempt to the upside, but then pull back. Just be mindful. Look at the pullbacks in the chart. They have yet to hit the 50 EMA. So they could actually continue higher from this point, but we are expecting them at some point to come and test the 50 because they haven't done so in quite a while. All right. BOA. Look at that bad boy. There it is again. Complete recovery of the wick. The imbalance in the chart, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Complete imbalance in the chart. They are now getting that filled. Engine coin. Range daily high taken, pulling back. Now stabilizing in and around the 13 EMA. Very good point. You can see the behavior of the trend itself. What time is it? Okay. So you've got the rise, the retrace, the continuation up, the retrace, test the lows, try and come back up. M5 projection if they hold at the M3 pivot zone. Okay. Anything else on this chart right here which is showing interest? Render token. All right, render token, right, is holding this 200 EMA. It's really important, this is. All right, so they've been sticking to this move to the downside, all right? So we could now be forming the first leg of a W formation if they do decide to hold this point, all right? Ideally, we want to see them pull back, test the 50, come back down, base out, and then try and make a move up. But that's all based on what their take is on this liquidity here. When you want to understand if the continuation is going to happen, you drop down to the lower time frames and look at what it's doing in and around the 50 EMA. All right. Rejection 1 drops. Rejection 2 drops. Retrace. Rejection. Drop 3 again. Come down to refill this wick. Okay. Alice, $25. Look at that. Here we go. This is interesting. On the 7-minute time frame, you can see it's come down to the 200. Deviation away from the 50 EMA and coming back. Market maker stepping in. 1, 2, 3 hits to the low. Now it's going to look to try and recover that point. If Alice does have the strength to continue higher, we will then see a completion of the pattern. Rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. M2 pivot shows the confirmation from earlier on at the session, which would imply that the M4 projection zone could actually get taken. All right, so we just need to be mindful of that. All right, then, what have we got? What are you guys talking about right here? Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's go back to that for a second. Big three, Bitcoin 50, still holding that range, man. They're not finished. Look at that. They are wicking the highs. They are trapping traders because people think it's the turn. People are thinking it's the turn. Now, it could be the turn. But right now, the market maker is making traders commit. And it keeps on rejecting. Look at the absorption. 565, 770, 70 and 11. It's like they keep spike up, down, spike up, down. No liquidity coming into the chart above 56,500. It's weak. Look at that. What time are we at? 4 more minutes until a new 50-minute candle towards the hour of 3 o'clock. 569 Bitcoin at 55. Got to be careful here, guys, man. Okay. If you are new to the channel, guys, and you want to know more about the system, there is a playlist in the channel which talks about understanding the hybrid, okay? Everything you need is in the website, okay? More importantly, if you are to consider joining the Patreon, mad love and respect for doing so. But be careful, don't do it in this side of the month. Always wait for a new month because they double charge you. I know people are joining and they're going to get charged twice, okay? So just wait to the start of a new month, okay? It's how Patreon do it. Okay, so I just needed to give you the heads up on that. All right. What else is it? How do I get the liquidity pools green boxes in the TradingView account? It's on the website, ladies and gentlemen. It's pinned to the top of the chat. You can get access to that. All right. I'm not predicting a bounce at 55. What I'm saying to you is there's liquidity at 55. Whether they feel liquid 55 is based on our understanding of what they've been doing in the meantime. We keep seeing stop hunt rises to the downside. Okay, stop hunt rise drop, stop hunt rise drop. Look at the wicks. What are they doing? They're spiking up the price to the upside to get those liquidities off the retail trader who thinks it's time to go long. He's making them pay the price. He's hitting their liquidation points at the same time. Spike, drop, spike, drop. For every wick that is formed, it's an order in the chart. People are paying. Now, if they've got interest in this zone, which is why we're seeing it consolidating, there appears to be interest in this zone where people are committing into the chart. So how long is it going to be before the market maker says, you know what, now it's time to release, and then they bring price down lower? You know? The M0 and the M5 represent the median of the standard pivot points. All right? The median of the standard pivot points. All right? And they are based, they do have the same distance between the two. But the principle says, all right, that if you've got support at the M2 pivot point, okay, then you're likely to see the M4 projection zone, which will take us towards the 59 zone. That's what the practice is. All right? If you get a rejection off the M4 zone, you expect the M2 pivot zone to be seen. Okay? That's the principle behind the M pivots. All right? But that's just a confluence. Don't base your trade solely off that. Got divergence on the RSI. It's actually outside the volatility band and it's come back in. So we're going to wait and see if we're going to see divergence in this area. Of course, that's on the 7-minute time frame. Roll onto the 50-minute time frame, which is going to happen in 1 minute time. Here we go. New 15-minute candle. Where's Bitcoin going to go? Look at the pump. Let's see if it happens. Selling off. Big order coming in. Dropping price. Absorption. 936 limit buys in that zone. Let's see if they do actually continue down. 570s coming back up. 55k. 570 Bitcoin. Slowly coming up. Let's see what they decide to do. Let's drop this RSI. Here we go. Are we going to get it? Rejection again. No orders coming in on the Bookmap above this price zone. Bring it closer. Nothing. Nothing, nothing. The release is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. No, you can't bust anyone in an unregulated environment. That's the thing. This game is unregulated. They can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. Remember, holders, traders, they are in denial right now because they're thinking that Bitcoin is pulling back, so we're just going to get Bitcoin at a cheaper price. But the market maker may push price down to lower points in the chart, which is going to make the retail trader who was originally long change direction and go short. And then that's where he changes direction back to the upside. You see it happen all the time. Savage trades. Well, if you look at it like this, guys, look at the glass node right here. All right. And just look at the dashboard over here. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. How traders respond in different ways. Look at all the peaks that Bitcoin has had. So the white line right here is Bitcoin's price. So when Bitcoin hit when it hit the, where was it? What was that price point of Bitcoin? $29. Okay. People were pumped about Bitcoin. Look at the key down here, euphoria and greed. Everyone was so ecstatic. That's when they turned price down. Next point in the chart. When Bitcoin was $229. Euphoria. Everyone's pumped. That's when they reversed it. Again, euphoria. When Bitcoin hit $1,054. Euphoria. Best time to reverse prices where people are getting greedy and excited about an all-time high. Bang. Capitulation. Where traders are selling off, losing positions. The next attempt at the high. When Bitcoin made an all-time high of 19,000 was when Bitcoin was at its last euphoric point, when the unrealized profit and losses at this point in the chart, when Bitcoin was $19,000 nearly, okay, that's when traders were at their most greedy and they were just holding on to their profits, okay? They weren't closing trades. Bang, they reversed it. But now every time Bitcoin makes a new high, if you notice, Bitcoin's all the way up at 67, 56 and what have you, and there was no euphoria in the chart. Even when we hit 66k, 67, there was no euphoria in the chart. What's going on? Is the retail trader actually starting, or the holder, is he expecting more, higher price from Bitcoin? That's what this chart sort of tells you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. 56, there it is. Again, 56 is being filled. Now, the reason why they're bouncing up and down in this range, guys, is because people keep coming in. Look, same orders, 56. Sorry. What's going on? Bitcoin's at 55.96 now. Wow. There you go. It's dropped. 56k. It's now 55.980. Came down, moved back up. They triggered those orders. They're going to try and do it again. Who are the market makers? Who are they, like shadows? I don't believe that. Who are they? Please explain. TAS, they are liquidity providers. Okay? If you're going to start your own exchange, you need a liquidity provider to give you a consistent feed of orders being filled from any orders being placed from your end of the platform to the market maker. At the same time, the market maker, he operates algorithms. He's got liquidity for days. This business of trading is the market maker's business model. All right. Binance go to a liquidity provider and they say, hey, can you provide us liquidity for our client base? We anticipate X, Y, and Z. Market maker says, yeah, okay, no problem. This is our fee. We're going to feed you with liquidity. We're going to build our positions. You can build your positions, and happy days. That's how it works. Okay. Classic example of proof of a market maker is TradeStation. Okay. TradeStation, they now offer the ability to actually trade crypto. All right. And under the cryptocurrency frequently asked questions, are you a crypto exchange? All right. Here we go. It says trade crypto brokerage service. Today's crypto landscape is comprised of so-called exchanges and other fragmented pools of liquidity. So what types of exchanges are you connected to? OTC desks, over-the-counter desks, market makers, and other electronic liquidity pools. They do exist, ladies and gentlemen. It's just they are such a mystical thing, all right? And there are plenty of market makers across the board. People that actually, you know, they do interviews, ex-market makers and what have you, all right? They are liquidity providers, and they just deal with large sums of money, all right? They put them into the charts and take them out. That's what a market maker is. They're just liquidity providers. This is just a business, ladies and gentlemen. That's all. It's a business of market makers taking your money at the highest point and setting up a position against your position to the downside. So how do you make money? Well, let's look at it like this. Here's the retail trader. I've done this many a times. Here's Binance. And here's the market maker. All right? The retail trader comes to Binance and says, right, I want to buy Bitcoin. So he buys $100 worth of Bitcoin. Binance then send that order to the market maker. The market maker then send the order back to Binance. Okay? With the order that's opposite your trade. So you've got a long in Bitcoin for $100. The market maker has a short in Bitcoin for $100. Because where are you going to get your liquidity from? It's not going to come from Derek. It's not going to come from a random dude who's happy to sell Bitcoin at the price that you decide to sell it at. No. So the market maker builds the position against yours. So when you're in profit of $100, okay, the market maker's position is negative $100. Which is why I say to you, pay yourself. If you don't pay yourself, you're leaving the dead liquidity there because the market maker can be as irrational as he wants. You can't. You don't have unlimited liquidity to burn. You want to play the game of market maker, you're going to need a little bit more liquidity. Likewise, when your trade is negative $100, the market maker's position is positive $100. And then you start adding your liquidation. You start improving, adding to the margin so that you can withstand more drawdown on your account and hope that you can see price realize a return to the upside. And that's where the market maker spikes the lows. That's where the wicks appear. Because the wicks appear when the market maker is hitting liquidation points because he can see those liquidation points because he's got the book that shows where those margins are set, where the margins are being sat at. That's why stop losses are a little bit of a double-edged sword. Yes, they protect your investment. They cut you out of your trade so you can limit the amount of exposure on your account. But at the same time, you're telling the market maker where your liquidity is at. That's why I encourage you, if you're going to use leverage, all right, try and use the smallest amount. Because a lot of traders, they start off with small amounts of money in the anticipation that leverage is going to give them the beauty of having more buying power. And guess what? There's always that thing. The biggest tool that people will look for is the liquidations in price. The business of liquidations itself is what makes the market maker a very profitable thing for him. At the same time, most of the money that leaves cryptocurrency into the market maker's hands are liquidation points. And why? Because they always go back to it. Because when you go long, the market maker goes short at the highest point. Drop. The liquidation points that he sees in this area here, because people are going long in this instance. So there's liquidations in these zones right here. So when the market maker decides to turn, he turns and moves price at speed so he can tap that liquidation zone in these areas here so that he can then realize the return on his shorts and use the liquidation points that he's just released in the chart to build his longs on the way back down again. That's where the algorithms come in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much how the market by principle works. The problem that we've got is we just don't know when. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for passing through. I have to go and get my daughter, but if you are new to the channel, mad love and respect for passing through. I'll be going live again later on tonight. I stream twice a day, 2 p.m. for the New York session, and then we finalize what happens in New York later on tonight with the preparation of the Asian session. But I just really wanted to just break things down today for anybody new and to all the pattern watchers. So mad love and respect to you, and I will see you guys later on tonight. Take care of yourselves, people. See you in a bit.